Why are we here this morning? We're here because we are prepared, outstanding warriors with the wisdom to overcome and win. Let me turn over to the Powwow Band performing Golden Hour.
It was just two lovers, sitting in the car, listening to Bond, falling for each other. Picking orange skies, feeling super childish, no Donald Glover. This call from my mother, like, where you at tonight? Got no alibi, I was all alone with the love of my life. She's got glitter for skin, my radiant beam in the night. I don't need no light to see shine. It's your golden hour. Oh, you slow down time in your golden It was just two lovers, sitting in the car, listening to Blonde, falling for each other. Pink and orange skies, feeling super childish, no Donald Glover. This call from my mother, like, where you at tonight? Got no alibi, I was all alone with the love of my life. She's got glitter for skin, my radiant beam in the night. I don't need no light to see you shine. It's your golden hour. Oh, you slow down Radio on blast, make the moment last. She got solar power. Minutes feel like hours. She knew she was baddest. Can't you even imagine falling like I did for the love of my life? She's got glow on her face. A glorious look in her eyes. My angel alive. I was all alone with the love of my life. She's got glitter for skin. My radiant beam in the night. Don't need no light to see you shine. It's your golden eye. Oh, you slow down time in your golden
All right, thank you, Powwow Band, for leading us off this morning. Let's see what accolades we have this morning from the Lawson Division for the bulletin boards. We have Jaslyn Hernandez. Jaslyn Hernandez. Also from Dr. Lawson, we have Nevaeh Ornsby. From Dr. Sangeetha, we have a Jasleen Ume. Thank you. And finally, for helping with the cafeteria, Zara Hampton. Zara, if you go ahead and come on up. Okay, so you're Ume. Right there. Thank you, Zara. All right, so before we go to birthdays, there was a very special birthday a couple of weeks ago, introducing the first photos of Kai De La Cruz from the recruitment class of 2041. As Coach said last week, training starts next week after a little bit of a break. And this next photo, I loved it because he is all ready to cheer for his parents. He's already getting the lungs going. He is already ready to hold that up. He is ready. So speaking of birthdays, if you have a birthday within the next week, go ahead and come on up if you would like. Any birthdays from the 11th through the 17th. Going once. Any birthdays? We have one. We have two. Misty, it's yours too? No, is this for someone special? Oh, for someone special. Okay, they don't want to come up?
So on this Friday, someone's special birthday, and you know how old he was turning? He would be 10. He would be 10 this year. And his name is Liam Steve.
So my name's Dexter, and my birthday is April 12th, tomorrow. I'll be turning 16.
Please stand up. Clap your hands, please. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. Woo!
All right, go ahead and go on to the next slide while our speaker go ahead and comes on up. There are certain topics, and he'll probably say a little bit about this, but there are certain topics that we have to talk about with y'all throughout the year. So I'm going to turn it over to Chief Antkowiak to introduce what he's talking about this morning.
How are you guys doing today? All right, so I'm here to do two things. The first thing is kind of one of those have-tos, and then we'll get into the kind of cool thing. So if you would, I don't know who's clicking the slides. All right, go ahead and click the first slide. So today I'm here to talk about some violence prevention. The state of Texas requires us as a school district to visit with you guys about things and ensure that you're informed. And so with the little kids, I do this way different than I do with you guys. You guys are pretty much adults, so I'm going to talk straight to you like adults. You need to know the things that can get you in real trouble, and you need the things that can get you in serious trouble, and the things that are just going to get you in kind of trouble. And I want you to understand the difference in those because they all have consequences, right? The stuff that's kind of trouble stuff is like rules of school code of conduct. So let's say you're out of dress code or something like that. You're still in trouble for that, but that's not anything super serious, right? I mean, you have to make your corrections. You got to discipline yourself, or you'll get the discipline from the school. That next level of things are the things that could get you suspended or expelled. Now, you may go, yeah, I don't really care about that stuff, and I get it. I've raised 4 kids. I got one 18-year-old right now that's a senior, and he and I were just talking about this presentation. He's like, they're going to like hate your presentation today. And I'm like, oh, great. Thanks for setting me up, son. I appreciate it. He goes, well, Dad, this is one of those conversations that nobody wants a cop coming and telling them when they're going to be in trouble. After talking to him, though, he said, you know, what I would do is I would just spin it up a little differently so they can understand the consequences associated with it, because they're going to do things. It's a matter of make them aware of the things that they're going to do and how it could really impact them. And so we're going to click through some slides. The first slide we're going to talk about is going to be bullying. So bullying, y'all know what bullying is all about. You've had this beaten into your heads by us. We've bullied you over bullying for like some of you 12 years now, okay? My son told me that joke was going to work way better than it did. Nobody laughed at that. All right, so we've taught you guys about bullying. There are 4 types of bullying. Y'all know about those types of bullying, but I want to be really clear. The state law recently changed on cyberbullying, and I want you guys to understand this because I don't want you to be surprised by this if it happens to you. So if you are somebody that is socially bullying somebody on the internet, now you may go, I'm not really bullying anybody. If you are making fun of somebody, if you're isolating somebody, or you are saying things to somebody with the intention of them self-harming, harming somebody else, or harm comes from it, you're going to get criminally charged. And it's nothing I can do. Now, for those of you guys who don't know this about the police department here, our goal is not to put handcuffs on a single kid all year long. So far this year, we've arrested 4 kids across the school district, 2 of which for self-harm and 2 of which for illegal activity that we had no choice in. Now, you may go, yeah, but the police are out to get us. Here's the deal. State law says that certain things we're supposed to charge you with if we have those things. I believe as a chief of police that we shouldn't be trying to put you in jail. We should be trying to rehabilitate a behavior. And so we work hand in hand with your discipline coordinators and your counselors for you not to get in real trouble on certain things. Real trouble is go to jail. And for those of you guys who don't know, in the state of Texas, 17, you're not a juvenile. There's a real rude awakening for a certain student this year that was 17, and instead of going to Letot, they went to Lou Sterrett Jail at 17. And so I don't want you to be surprised or run into something that caused you great pain later. And so when it comes to bullying, next slide, please. I want you to understand certain kind of bullying, there it goes, is a criminal offense. If someone commits suicide based on bullying, you'll be criminally charged with murder. That's a Texas statute called David's Law. If you socially bully somebody and they self-harm, you're going to get criminally charged. Now, you won't be charged with murder, but you're going to be charged with aggravated assault through bullying. It's a statute that's not good. And hear me, I get it that as you're learning to be grown, and even grown-ups, we have sometimes difficulty in how we communicate with each other, and we say things we shouldn't say. I am the king of saying things I shouldn't say. Like, I'm always getting in trouble with my wife because my mouth outruns my brain. And so what I don't want you guys to do is do it in such a way that you harm a fellow classmate. Because if you do, there's going to be suspensions, there's going to be expulsions. And if you get expelled over bullying, by the new state law that just got rolled out, if you're trying to go to a Texas school, the school district is required to report bullying to the colleges. Now, for those of you that are juniors and seniors and you're in that decision point trying to go to college, it's competitive. Now they've taken away testing scores, they're looking at everything else. And one of the things they look at is your behavior. And if you're wrapped up in bullying, they can deny you off of that. Jobs now can deny you off of documented bullying. And documented bullying is any bullying that's documented on an education record or a criminal record. Next slide, please. All right, that was a lot of fun. Let's move to the next one. Let's talk about threats. All right, so sometimes we make bad choices and we think it's a good idea to change the attention from me to somebody else by threatening them. So if you it's called communication of a terroristic threat. It's in the Texas Penal Code. If you threaten the school a school employee, that's a teacher, cafeteria worker, coach, anybody that works for the school district, or another student, it's a criminal offense. Tarrant County, which is the county we sit in, is criminally prosecuting juveniles for this. I don't necessarily agree with that, by the way, that they criminally prosecute. I think we can handle that internally as a school district. However, the district attorney's office, our new district attorney, they don't believe that. So they are absolutely criminally charging you. So what that looks like is if you communicate in writing, text, any kind of communication, verbal communication of a threat to the school, any threat, because of Uvalde, because of Nashville, they're taking that super serious now, and they are criminally prosecuting kids for that, as well as getting in trouble with the school. Next slide, please. More fun. All right, real gun or fake gun? If you think it's a real gun, raise your hand. If you think it's fake gun, raise your hand. You have to, okay, that was like 20 hands. You have to raise your hand either for or against. If you believe it's a fake gun, raise your hand. If you believe it's a real gun, raise your hand. You are correct. That's an AR-15, Palmetto Arms 15. It's a 5.56. It's the same kind of weapon that I carry in my police car, except mine's not as cool, all right? Hear me clearly on this. If you bring a firearm, a real firearm to school, you're gonna be gone. You're not gonna just be gone from here. You're gonna go to prison, and you're not gonna get out till you're 21. That's fact. That's if you're 14. If you're over 14, if you're over 17, you're gonna get charged under Chapter 46 of the Texas Penal Code. You're gonna get charged with a felony as an adult if you bring a firearm to school. If you bring a simulated firearm to school, guess what happens? Same exact charge. This is really important. We had a young person bring a water gun that looked very real to school. Let me tell you a story about a water gun. It was 1999. I was a young police officer, very young police officer at the time. We ran on a call where a young person had been shot by another person. They had pulled out what was a water gun and pointed at somebody that was carrying a concealed weapon. They drew their weapon and shot and killed the kid. Here's the thing. As a police officer, if I see that, I'm treating it like it's real. My life, your life as the people I protect, I don't have time to figure out real and not real. So it's super, super important that you don't bring something into the education environment that could get you in super, super bad trouble. That's not like trouble like jail, suspension. That's like serious bodily injury would occur. So please don't bring any simulated weapon into the school environment. Because if you do, that's something that's outside what we can keep inside the school when it comes to your consequences. Next one. All right, fire alarm pulling. For those of you guys who don't know, my grandfather was a Baltimore City fireman. I'm from a long line of firemen and cops. My grandfather, it was in 1946, Joseph Magaha. He was a Baltimore City firefighter. That's back when they used to ride on the back of fire trucks. They get a fire alarm. They start screaming towards the fire alarm with 6 firemen on one rig, another rig screaming, another direction. They collide. My grandfather and 5 other firefighters were tragically killed in that. Never got to know my grandfather. Somebody pulled a alarm, and it was a false alarm, and it killed 2 truckloads of firemen. We had this happen, by the way, very similar situation. Nobody got injured in it at the Fielder campus last week. Young person decided it was a funny thing to pull the fire alarm. They didn't realize we have cameras everywhere. $1,500 worth of fines are heading their way, and they're going to get expelled from Newman. Here's the problem when you get expelled from Newman for discipline reasons. You don't go back to your home school. You go back to your alternative school in your home district. Last week, I was running about 120 miles an hour down Pioneer Parkway heading to that school with my police car lights and siren. Fire truck from Pantego was running about the same speed, and that's a lot bigger thing, and a couple fire trucks from Arlington was running hot as well. The reality of it is because all of us were headed that way that fast, all of us were at risk safety-wise, and we weren't responding to other things that people really need help on. So if you do that, I can promise you, you're going to get a massive citation, and you're going to get kicked out of school. And it's a Class B misdemeanor, which isn't good. Next slide, please. We're almost done with all the really fun stuff. All right, physical violence. Hear me clearly. If you get into a fight in school, let's say you hit somebody, and you're mad at each other, you push each other, and you hit somebody. And in the process of hitting that person, you cause serious bodily injury. Or let's say you kick a bathroom door and it causes serious bodily injury. You're facing a felony in the state of Texas. Being in school doesn't absolve you from the law. And so what I don't want you guys, here's the man, when I was a kid, we could get a fist fight and that was okay. That is not okay anymore. And so it's just a different world you live in. And so lots of things you can do. Next slide, please. When you're faced with any of these situations, teachers, counselors, assistant principals, principals are all here for you. Your school officer's here for you. I'm here for you. We just want to be that resource to help you manage whatever's going on. We want this environment for you to be healthy and safe. That's all we care about. We want you to get a good education and a healthy, safe environment. We're not here to get you. That's not our goal. Our goal is to keep you safe, and we can only do that if you partner with us. So help us by not making that tough stuff occur. All right, now let's get on to the real reason I wanted to be here today. It should be the link. All right, let's watch this video real quick. And we're placing them into real-life simulations for police work to get them fully immersed into the police career, see if it's something that they're interested in, and to help build their leadership and personal character development in line with the Newman Warrior Way. All right, so I've been at Newman now. This is my 9th school year, so maybe someday I'll get to 12th grade and graduate. But been here 9 years. The reason I actually started working at Newman was Warrior Week. And so Warrior Week was this brainchild that Dr. George and I threw together because she talks a lot about trying to grow warriors. And I made a comment to her. I said, well, I think you're missing it. I don't think you're really growing warriors. I think you're growing people with a warrior mindset, but you're not growing warriors. And in true Dr. George form, she goes, well, then come up with a way for us to do that. So after a lot of back and forth, we decided the best thing we could do was immerse you in an opportunity as a senior, so I'm talking specifically to you seniors, to give you the opportunity to be around true warriors. Last year, SEAL Team 6 commander from Virginia Beach flew in for this. We had the Homeland Security SRT from D.C. fly in for this. We had them bring their mobile command center from Atlanta in for this. United States Army, Air Force, Marines, and Navy showed up for this week. Dallas Police Department showed up. Arlington Police Department showed up. Both their SWAT team, Cedar Hill, showed up with their motorcycle unit. This is a really cool opportunity for you guys as seniors to interact with. Oh, and I shouldn't leave out our firemen. I always forget about the firemen. The firemen showed up too last year. Our idea for this is for you all that are not necessarily college bound to consider serving once you leave Newman. At 18 years old, you can apply for and get hired by a fire service. At 21, you can start working as a police officer. All kinds of opportunities within the public safety realm for you to consider. But here's the thing. I hate career fairs. Don't hate me, academic counselors. I don't like them because you get like 30 seconds to 5 minutes with somebody to try to figure out if that's right for you. College fair is the same way. You get such a short period of time to try to figure out what college you want to go to. So for me, I wanted you guys as seniors to actually get to know us and know the person behind the badge. And so you get an entire week worth of time with us doing a lot of cool, fun activities. I'll give you an example. Fun fact about me, I own a martial art business, and I'm an expert in Krav Maga. And so I teach Krav Maga to adults and kids. And so when you come to Warrior Week, you're going to get some self-defense. When you come to Warrior Week, you're going to get to fire weapons. If you've never fired a weapon before, you get to fire a weapon. You're going to get to be around SWAT teams, motorcycle cops, canine cops, firefighters. The FBI showed up last year. Homeland Security showed up last year. It's a lot of coordination goes into this for you all to get the opportunity to meet different people and then tell you about it. We even have a West Point graduate that comes every year to talk about West Point and that experience. This is a really cool week. So here's the thing. The teachers are going to be passing out something to the seniors. You need to get that filled out and sent back in. Warrior Week, again, is the 15th of May to the 19th of May. And at the end, we'll just have a cookout and have a good time on the last day of it. So look forward to seeing you seniors at that event. We're going to do 3 days of it at Cedar Hill and 2 days of it here. If you have questions, get with, who's the point of contact here, Mr. Adams? Or Matt Daniels? Who's the point of contact in Warrior Week? Do we know? That's who it is. Michelle Hargrave is the point of contact for it. So if you're a senior, she's going to be passing out something. Make sure you take that home, get it signed. We need you to be appropriately dressed. This was an issue last year. So because of some people not doing the right thing, we have to go back to Newman uniforms this year. So you got to be appropriately dressed. That's the only change for it. The other change is we're bringing it to this campus 2 days, which is cool. We've never done that before. So we're going to do 3 days there, 2 days here. All right. Thank you guys so much for your time. Mr. Moore?
All right, thank you, Chief. Let's go ahead and look at what we got coming up the next month or so. We've got Saturday school this Saturday. Once again, STAR testing will be coming up pretty quickly, and also credit recovery. Graduation cap decoration on Monday for the seniors. Go ahead and go on to the next slide. Talent show is coming up Thursday, 420. I believe some seniors will be helping at field day over at Fielder next Friday, is my understanding. We also have Saturday schools, 422 and 429, because yes, STAR is coming. I did not try to put all that into a slide because if you are in a STAR testing class, I'm sure teachers will be discussing with you when your STAR test is, but all that will be coming up pretty soon. Go ahead and go on to the next slide. We're a little bit early. Once again, do we have any announcements from Mr. Steve? Okay, so baseball tonight, Fort Worth at 7, and then Thursday at LT Keller at 5:30. And I believe the girls have a softball game. Is that today? Where's that at? Vandergrift? Gateway at 4:30. All right. Anything else from anybody, Ms. Pearson? Go, Ms. Pearson's room to buy a yearbook. Any other announcements? Ms. Hargrave, did you have an announcement, or are you just walking halfway? No announcements. All right. So since we are a little bit early, once again, when we go back, you're back to second period. Hang out there for a little bit, but then you can go to next thing at 11:45 when the bell rings. So, Olive, if you'd go ahead and come on up for the school song. Last chance for anybody else that has any other announcements. Thank you, Powwow Man, for Mr. Adams has an announcement. Okay. Seniors stay in here after the song. Seniors stay in. Seniors in Miss Hargrave's class stay in here. Seniors in Coach Hargrave's class stay in here.
Okay. May God bless our school as we march to our tomorrows and stand tall today with love, faith, and hope. We rise to build our nation with wisdom, stature, and favor. May God bless our school today and forever.
Thank you for those that sang with her. If you're talking to each other, you're obviously not singing with her.